Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Nakwam, Watchman, we're coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh. Shema Mashiach Malak Yahushua. Double honors to the elect elders that's of the house of David, that's spitting this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Yahushua. A hearty shalom to you, mighty men that go out there and labor and do the work of the Most High, presenting your body as a living sacrifice, and doing all things for the elect's sake, pushing this truth and magnifying the ministry. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're bounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom to all of the aquath out there, hold it down in the household, to reverencing their husbands, being submissive, being diligent, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, Esther, Judith, and list goes on and on. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to everybody tuning in live. I'm a daughter to a king, Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua, Rakatha Most High, Shalom, Amaziah Yahweh, Benjamin Young Wolf, Mox, Nix, Mayim, Kayim, Judah, Israel, Donnie Stone, AJJ Josephat, Aaron Judah, and Yafye Israel. Shalom, shalom. We back at it again, going over some current events, some up-to-date news, some breaking prophecy. You know, like we like to say through the spirit, we're like the spiritual news reporters, man, right? We bring out the spiritual news, current events, link it up with the prophecies to keep you up to date of the times you're living in. And our job is to watch them. Whatever we see out there, our job is to warn the people about impending danger, breaking news, prophecy coming to pass, and signs of the times, right? Let's get that, right? That's our job, man. We don't have nothing else to do, right? We're not going around and collect money, right? We're not going around, catching the Holy Spirit like the Christian church, tap dancing and praise dancing. You're not going to see us doing videos on how to make cornbread. Do we preheat the oven to 250? And no, we're not doing stuff like that. We're not doing videos on how, did King Solomon wear the brown sandals or did King Solomon wear black sandals? You will never see an in-depth breakdown on the footwear of King Solomon, man. Our job is to go into the prophecies. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 3, right? And be watchmen, right? We're not going to talk about then Leah, but in Leah's tent, what kind of furniture did she have? Did she wear brown dresses, or did Leah, did she like blue? Right? We don't care about stuff like that, man. Right? That's not important in the last days. What's important is warning the people and being on fire and keeping our people in a loop about the global current events, man. Right? This is Ezekiel chapter 3 and 17. Right? Ezekiel chapter 3 and 17, it reads, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman into the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. See that? The Lord made us watchmen to the house of Israel. We hear what's going on. We see what's happening on the news. We're checking out the whistleblowers, the current events. We linking it up with the alternative media news outlets. We on RT News, Al Jazeera. We on all these different websites. We licking and we hitting the refresh button. We finding out what's happening around the world. We get notifications. We putting it together. We open up the Bible. We going through the precepts. Okay, yeah, that's Revelation chapter 16. Okay, that's Second Ezra chapter 5, and we link it up, right? And our job is to say, hey, look, this is what's happening in the world. These are the Bible verses that validate it. You got this much time to get it together, right? Let's read that again, Ezekiel chapter 3 and 17. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, and speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. See that? So the Most High said, if we don't warn those people, they're going to die. And guess who's going to be held accountable? Our blood. Yeah, they're going to die in their iniquity, but who has to bear that burden? The watchman. So if we don't do the videos and we don't warn the people, if we don't go out on the highways and byways, we're going to get put to death. Right? You can't just know this knowledge. The watchman just can't get all of this information and all of this understanding and just keep it to himself, right? And take the talent and dig a hole and put it in the earth, right? It don't work like that. Verse 19, Ezekiel 3:19. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. So if we do warn the wicked and he don't repent, if we say, look, you got global internet outages going on, right? At any given second, the power grid can go out. If we go out there and tell the brother, hey, look, eclipses and new moons and signs in the heavens are happening, and blood moons, he said, I don't care about that. We go out there and tell you more prophecies and link up more prophecies and more prophecies, and the brother say, well, that's a coincidence, right? That's just Mother Nature doing her thing. She always does that. If he wants to come with that stuff and that folly, he's going to die his iniquity. But guess what? We delivered our soul. We did what we had to do. We washed the blood out of our hands. We warned the man. He don't listen. Guess what? That's on him now. That's between him and the Most High. You got to deal with it, right? Verse 20. Again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, and I lay a stumbling block before him, he shall die, because thou hast not given him warning. He shall die in his sin, and his righteousness, which he hath done, shall not be remembered, but his blood will I require at thine hand. So that's the same thing. The Lord says stumbling block. Stumbling blocks are like philosophies, doctrines, snares, and we got to see the snares and the traps and the holes. Like a man walking down the street, and there's a big pothole right there, and it's damn 40 feet deep. And if we don't say, hey, brother, there's a pothole right there or a sinkhole, you're going to fall in that thing. Guess what? He's going to fall in that thing that the Most High created, but it's up to us to warn him so we can take another path and come to the straight and narrow path, which is Yahweh Shah. Because Yahweh Shah said, I am the way, So we have to leave and teach him how to avoid these ditches and darkness and come back to the path and the tree of life. Verse 21. Nevertheless, if thou warn the righteous man that the righteous sin not, and he doeth not sin, he shall surely live, because he is warned. Also, thou hast delivered thy soul. So if we warn the brother, he says, okay, look, okay, I'm linking it up with the Bible. It all makes sense. The precept upon the precepts, the lines are upon the lines. I see what's happening in the media and the news. I can't deny it. I'm going to repent, and I'm going to fast, and I'm going to pray, and I'm going to be on fire, and I'm going to be diligent. Guess what? When the days of evil come, that man is going to be delivered. And guess who else is going to be delivered? We are, to be the will of the Lord, because we warned the righteous, and he still turned from his evil way. So we saving souls out here through the spirit and power of the Lord. Now, the first thing, I tried to do StreamYard again. When I do these current events and I go into these different prophecies and breaking news, I try to do the StreamYard platform, but for some reason, the code cuts did not allow me to do it. So I have to just show you, I hate to do it this way, but, it's the only way I can right now, right? The first thing I want to get into is, Salaki, bear with me. You have global power outages, and this was earlier today, right? Global, and you can look this stuff up, right? This is all around the world. Major internet outage impacts websites and apps. You see that? Around the world. It's not just a local thing. Like you had a thunderstorm in your neighborhood and the power went out and you walk outside and people, what happened? And, no, this is around the world. You had websites, you had like Hulu went out, Reddit went out, CNN, and a lot of these websites that Amazon went out. All these websites, people hitting the damn button, hitting the refresh button, they unplugging a router, they plugging it back in. They're on the phone with the damn electric company of the city. What's going on with the internet? And nobody had any answers. Who did that? The Lord did that. That's not of man. The Most High, he'll use man, but ultimately, anything that plays out on the earth, that's of Yahweh by Yahweh Shah. All works are wrought of him, good or bad, evil or righteous. So you had a global power outage, right? It says let's see which one I want to go to. Now, this is from techcrunch.com. So they're saying Twitch, Pinterest, Reddit, and more go down and Fastly CDN outage. Right? Now, they said it was resolved in about an hour. Right? It says countless. Now, you can look this up on your own. This from earlier. What's today's date? It's the so-called 8th. Right? This was early around 3 in the morning on the 8th. It says countless popular websites, including Reddit, Spotify, Twitch, Stack Overflow, GitHub, gov.uk, Hulu, HBO Max, Quora, PayPal, Vimeo, Shopify, Stripe, and news outlets like CNN, The Guardian, New York Times, BBC, Financial Times are currently facing an outage. And those aren't no low-down websites. That's not familydollar.com, right? That's not Barnes & Noble. These websites that got shut down, they kind of keep the state of the world going. Like the Lord tell you, let me get that in Sirach chapter 38, right? They kind of keep the world spinning through, for lack of better terms, right? We all know how, we know the terminology I'm saying. They keep the world going, man. This is Sirach chapter 38 and verse 34. But they will maintain the state of the world, and all their desire is in the work of their craft. So websites like that, they maintain the state of the world, man. People can't live without Amazon. People ordering stuff right now as we speak. They binge order stuff. They order stuff. They hoard it up. They don't use it. They got a TV show called Hoarders. And you walk in the damn house, and you can barely walk in. It's boxes and stuff stacked up to the ceiling. And you got the psychologist coming in, well, why did you get this stuff? Well, I ordered it on Amazon. She said, well, are you going to use it? No, I just can't stop ordering stuff. So these websites, people use this stuff all the time. Amazon, New York Times, The Guardian, CNN, HBO Max, PayPal. And it was shut out just like that, like a thief in the night. When did it happen? In the so-called middle of the night, while you were asleep. Now, let's say the Most High didn't resolve this in about an hour. They say they kind of got it fixed in the hour. But the Lord could have had it shut down to this very day. And there would be no more YouTube. YouTube could have got shut down. Instagram could have got shut down. Your Facebook, your Twitter, your TikTok, all that stuff could have got shut down. You see that? And you wouldn't. It happened at 3 in the morning while you sleep. While you sleep, you wake up and now all hell breaking loose with no internet. Global power outage, and now you got to deal with it, right? So let's read on a little bit. It says, we're currently investigating. Hold on, let's get the update. Now, this happened all around the world. They say this happened in North America, South America, Europe, Asia Pacific, India, and South Africa, right? So this just happened not too long ago. Only a few hours ago, right? Now, this again is from CNN Business. Right? And CNN Business, it says, countless websites and apps around the world went down for about an hour Tuesday after Fastly, a major content delivery network, reported a widespread failure. Fastly supports news sites and apps like CNN, The Guardian, New York Times, and many others. It also provides content delivery for Twitch, Pinterest, HBO Max, Hulu, Reddit, and Spotify, and other services. The outage took down other major internet platforms and sites, including Amazon, Target, and the UK government website. Damn, you see that? Now, it could have been a lot worse, man. It could have been a lot worse. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 9. It could have been a lot worse. And that's a sign, man, that any given second, this place can go down. At any given second, it can go down. While you sitting around, I don't know when we're going to get out of here. That's why it's important to watch. It's important to watch. It's important to stay on top of the prophecies because they keep your faith going, man. At any second, this place can go down. YouTube can be shut down. The so-called white man can remove all, quote unquote, Hebrew Israelite content, all from YouTube. and shut the whole thing down. The whole internet can be shut down. All your lights go out. All your food in your refrigerator and freezer go bad. You know? Everybody's trying to figure out what's going on. Whether it's an EMP attack, the power grid go out. This stuff can happen all the time. Right? You see, Keon B said, I believe that's the second time that's happened this year. That's right. I believe that too. These things happen often, man. Let's go to Ecclesiastes, the 9th chapter. All right? This is Ecclesiastes in the so-called Old Testament. Right? Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 11. 9 and 12. It reads, for a man also knoweth not his time. So man don't know his time. Man don't know when this place going to go out. But guess what? It can happen any second. Right? This live stream can be cut right now. You know? And a lot of brothers take YouTube for granted. You know, the old Cold Cuts channel, even the Cold Cut channel before that, had a plethora of breakdowns and information. But a lot of brothers, they only want to watch the videos of camps when they telling Esau to lick their boots. When you're getting on a scoffer, you're getting on Eve. Them videos get like 12,000 views. Then you do a in-depth breakdown on something into prophecy, it might get like a 2,000. Jake really don't watch it. Get a couple thumbs down. Comment, why is this up here? Right? Come on, brother. You got to take advantage of the table of the Lord while there's food on there. Because once the Lord snatched that placemat out or that tablecloth and all the food falls on the floor, it ain't no picking it up. All right? You got to get the food while you can. You know? Ecclesiastes 9 and 12. For a man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare. So are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. See, that said, when it falleth suddenly upon them. Right? So I can bear with me. Now, what's the definition of sudden? It says occurring or done quickly and unexpectedly without warning. So the Most High warn us and say, hey, look, I'm gonna do the power grid, or I'm gonna shut down the internet at 3 a.m. No, the Lord don't, like we always bring up, the Lord don't text you. You get a text and it's the Most High's name right there, and it come through, and the Lord got a detailed plan about what he's going to do every day, and who he's going to kill, and what judgment is going to come to pass, and how he's going to save this brother's life and bring this person to the truth and shut down the internet over here. And the Lord don't get, last time I checked, the Lord don't give a run sheet. He don't give a run sheet to the servants of the Lord. All we know is we see the events going on, we scramble it, try to link it up, we on the computer trying to get the information, we on our phone refreshing, and we linking up the prophecies. That's the best we get. We're very limited on how the Most High has given us these prophecies, right? It says occurring. Now this is the definition of sudden: occurring or done. Salakia, occurring or done quickly and unexpectedly, or without warning. You see that? Or without warning. So things like this happen without warning, man. Right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs. Give it 1 chapter 3. Right? Let's go to Proverbs, the 3rd chapter. Proverbs 3 and 25. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh. So you can't be afraid of sudden fear. You can't be afraid when the power go out just like that. You can't sit there, well, what do I do? I'm not sure what's going on. There's no more YouTube. There's no more WFI. There's no more Sakari, GMS, IUIC, HOI. What do I do? No more Sons of Thunder. How do I get the information? No, you're supposed to call upon Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And you were supposed to get it already. You weren't supposed to sit around watching Sports Center all day and watching damn Netflix, binge watching your favorite series on Netflix all day. Now is your chance to get this truth. Now is your chance to get this knowledge. Right? That's what the Lord is showing you. Right? Let's go to the classic in Isaiah 55 and 6. I kind of paraphrased it, but let's get it now. Right? Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 6. The Lord says, seek ye the Lord while he may be found, call ye upon him while he is near. Right? It's lucky. Right? Seek ye the Lord while he may be found, call ye upon him while he is near. Bear with me. Right? Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts, and let him return unto the Lord, and he will have mercy upon him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon. You got to get this deal while you can. We're not going to say it 20 times over. Get it while you can. These deals don't last forever, man. Right? These 50% deals in these clothing stores, they might have a seasonal food at your favorite restaurant. It don't last forever, man. It don't work like that. You're not always going to be able to order an apocrypha. You got brothers, I'll get my apocrypha next month. I will use my $10 to do this. I'll get my apocrypha later. And I'll order my Bible when I feel like it. I guess I'll grow my beard out next week. And guess what? All hell break loose. And I'll watch. You see the breakdown come out. You see the notification. Yeah, I'll watch it tomorrow. It might not be a tomorrow. The Lord said, boast not thyself of tomorrow. But I don't know, it's not what a day may bring forth. You know? And on top of these global internet outages, I'm going to play this too. Now, this is from the Energy Secretary, Salakia. Energy Secretary warns of enemy's capability to shut down the U.S. power grid. Get ready for lights out. Now, this is from earlier today.
This is Dabu 7. We have the Energy Secretary.
Now, this is Dabu 7, but if you want to watch the whole State of the Union, you want to watch the whole speech on your own, you can watch it on your own. But this guy, he's just kind of going into it. You can watch it on your own. You can look it up, right? But this actually happened, you know?
This is Dabu 7. We have the Energy Secretary, Jennifer Granholm, now making statements warning that the U.S. and its power grid is very vulnerable to massive attacks. She goes on to state that this is happening daily, that they're happening large scale, small scale, and that the private sector, public sector, they all have to work together in this, and that thousands of attacks on all aspects of energy are going down. It's happening all the time, and I've warned and warned and warned for years.
And Salakia, real quick, they just did it was a so-called cyber attack on a pipeline, and he didn't have any gas in the whole southeast United States. They said it was a cyber attack. Now, you're beginning to notice the pattern of what's going on. A lot of these so-called attacks, a lot of these calamities that are happening in so-called America, now they're all cyber attacks, right? Now, we don't know if this is an inside job or, people are actually doing this. We all know it's in the will of the Lord. But they didn't have gas for like a week, man. And people was damn near fighting each other and killing each other over stuff like that. Right? And they blamed it on a so-called cyber attack. And they just had another so-called cyber attack. They said they attacked the meat facility. I have to go into the details of it. But they said now people are even going to have meat in their grocery stores for some time. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Right? That shouldn't take too long to find. But they said it was a so-called cyber attack on a meat manufacturer plant. Let me see if I can find that. Bear with me. Or meat processor. Right? I want to see if I can get that. All right, you see that? Largest meat producer getting back online after a cyber attack. And these things are happening quicker and quicker and quicker, man. Right? Now, this is from 6 days ago. It says the FBI attributed the attack, so this is what they blamed it on meat processor JBS SA to Reville, a Russian-speaking gang that has made some of the largest ransomware demands on record. So now they're saying a lot of these gangs are attacking America, man. And it kind of reminds me of Rome. When you study how ancient Rome fell, ancient Rome was getting these cyber attacks. Ancient Rome was getting these attacks from these other pagan groups like the Alemanni and other the Dalmatians, the Visigoths. They was getting attacked constantly. The Ostrogoths and little faction, they was kind of nitpicking and slowly wearing down the Roman Empire. And it was happening all the time. And the Roman Empire couldn't keep up because they expanded so much and didn't have enough military and manpower and currency to get the soldiers and pay them to protect the borders. They didn't have enough soldiers, you know, and they slowly got broken down. And eventually the Visigoths, the Ostrogoths, and all them different so-called Germanic tribes, when you study how the Western Roman Empire fell, they came and took them down during the time of Romulus Augustus. Around, it actually collapsed in 476 AD, but it was a slow buildup. When these kingdoms go down, they don't go down instantly. They slowly go down, right? They go down after decades and decades. It's a slow spiral, like you see the damn stuff going down the drain. It's a slow drain, downward spiral. Then there's no more water and it sinks. And that's how America is. It's a slow drain. These cyber attacks, they're becoming to be more effective. You understand? The Israelites waking up. His economy's going down the drain. All hell is breaking loose. You know? I was watching this so-called movie on Netflix, and this Russian guy, he was you had this Edomite saying America is going to come back again. And this Russian, he was like, look, those days are over with. They kind of put that in the media. He said, hey, America's a shadow of its former self. America's all talk. And he said, Russia, they're the next power up. And they kind of told America about themselves, you know? So this happened about 6 days ago. Largest meat producer getting back online after cyber attack, right? Let me get this precept real quick, right? All right, let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 9, right? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 9. Then I'm going to go back to that article about the cyber attack on the meat processing plant or whatever it was. Then I'm going to go back to the energy secretary, right? Isaiah chapter 14 and 9. Hell from beneath is moved to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones, and it's like all the kings of the nations. So what does it mean in Isaiah 14 and 9? Hell from beneath is moved to meet thee at thy coming. Meaning when America goes down into the grave, they're going to rejoice, right? The grave can't wait to consume America. It's moved to meet thee at thy coming. All the third world countries, they see America going down the drain now, right? America is not this great power like it was in the 1940s. Back in the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, that's when America was at its peak. Since then, they've been slowly going down the drain, right? All the psychedelic drugs, the damn Esau stopped obeying the damn law. They became hippies, potheads, drug heads. Now these Edomites, they used to wear suits and ties. I had a shortcut. Then in the damn 60s, Esau stopped doing that. You see in the 60s, you watch them old black and white movies of the 50s, right? When Esau had the damn slick back and they had the suit and the tie with the briefcase and the mother had the apron on and the kids outside playing with the stick and the hula hoop and the horse head with the stick on and they kind of playing cowboys and Indians and he's sitting around like a happy family, man. Those days are over with. Now you got Edomites flipping over the table or other Edomites for Thanksgiving. You got Edomites addicted to methamphetamines, right? Esau is in jail. His kingdom's over. So that transition from the 50s to like the 60s when they became hippies, they start growing their hair out, smoking weed. They start dating Jake more, you know? They became a little more liberal. That's what it led to America's downfall. All right? So now these other nations, they looking at America fall and they rejoicing at it. Right? Let's read on. Verse 10, Isaiah chapter 14 and 10. And they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? art thou become like unto us. And that happened in ancient Rome. When Rome fell, Rome became just as weak as the nations they spent years trying to conquer. Financially, militarily, economically. You understand? Their whole structure fell apart. They became just like the Germanic tribes and Hamite tribes they tried to take over. And that's how America is. The other nations are looking at them saying, art thou become weak like unto us? You know? It reads, here's the point I want, verse 11. Thy pomp, this Isaiah 14 and 11, thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vials. The worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. Meaning America's decaying. When worms are spread over you, that's a sign of decay. You look at a dead body decaying, you got the worm crawling out the eye socket, going into the nose. You got little worms eating at it. So America's being ate at slowly by the worms. And it's covering America, and it's slowly decaying, and it's slowly waxing worse and worse. That's why at one point in time, these cyber attacks wouldn't get to America. Now it's happening all the time, right? So that shows you that this place is going down. They become a lot more vulnerable than they used to be. All right, it says the world's, going back to this article, right, about the meat processor being attacked, right? It says, this is from NBC News, right, from the Associated Press. The world's largest meat processing company has resumed most production after a weekend cyber attack. But experts say the vulnerabilities, see that? But experts say the vulnerabilities exposed by this attack and others are far from resolved. In a statement late Wednesday, the FBI attributed the attack on Brazil-based meat processor to a Russian-speaking gang that has made some of the largest ransomware demands on record in recent months. The FBI said it will work to bring the group to justice, and it urged anyone who is the victim of a cyber attack to contact the bureau immediately. Now they blame it on the Russians. We don't know if that's just propaganda or if this is an inside job. You never know with these devils, right? You never know, right? But the point is, when they were saying that they didn't know that this plant would get back up, they were saying that these stores wouldn't have any meat, man. And the price of meat was going to double. So you try to get a steak, a pack of steak for like, what, $12, it would double to 24. Some places might be 36, right? So meat was going to skyrocket, man. Chicken, ground beef, all that stuff was going to skyrocket through the roof, And that was the so-called result of a cyber attack. And that links back up to what we were bringing out on YouTube, right? The energy secretary said, get ready for lights out. Even Esau said that. They said, we can't do nothing about this. Our power grid may go out any second. That's what they're saying,
This is Dabu 7. We have the Energy Secretary, Jennifer Granholm, now making statements warning that the U.S. and its power grid is very vulnerable to massive attacks. She goes on to state that this is happening daily, that they're happening large scale, small scale, and that the private sector, public sector, they all have to work together in this. And that thousands of attacks on all aspects of energy are going down. It's happening all the time. And I've warned and warned and warned for years that you got to have a plan for a lights out situation. Some people let it go in one ear and out the other. Some people actually do something about it. Shout outs to those that are making moves because we're running out of time. The sand is slipping out of the hourglass. For a decade, the number one thing that I've warned everyone to watch out for is an end game lights out event. We just so happen to have 2 North Korean Shining Star satellites passing over many countries every day. The EMP Commission said that they were likely EMPs. Our military knows they're there, and they continue to let them traverse around the globe at the perfect altitude for sparking an EMP.
See that?
And you mix that.
See that right there? Right? And that's, as time progresses, this cyber warfare is one of these top most lucrative businesses and number one threats to countries now. Dealing with this future, the Lord said in Daniel chapter 12 and 4, knowledge shall be increased. So people aren't fighting how they used to fight back in the day. Nobody fights fair. And it's not the strongest man and the most trained soldier. He's not going to win the battle. People are conquering nations with clicks of a button now, right? People are programming devices and tapping into people's infrastructure and shutting the entire economy down. People are sending planes and drones over and throwing over bombs and causing EMP attacks. That's one of the most, that's probably the number one threat to Babylon the Great, right? Which is an EMP attack, Now, we don't know, how it's going to play out, but we do know the days of darkness are written in the Apocrypha, man, right? Where the days of trouble are coming on the earth, right? And that's going to lead to the famine of the word, right? It's going to lead to all hell breaking loose. Imagine being in Babylon the Great and there's no more power. It's an EMP attack. People are going to lose their mind. People are going to bug out, man. Your Walmart, hey, that Walmart's going to be empty. I give it 4 days, maybe 3. It's going to be empty. Hey, and the police, they're not going to be policing people anymore. They're going to be looking to make it too. I went to the Walmart last night up the street. I had to get some stuff late, and they had the police car out there, in case Jake kind of get out of line. But eventually, hey, he's not going to be worried about that. He's going to be in that Walmart. He going to get his too, because he got a family, and they got to eat too. So these days are coming on the earth, man. All right, let's get this precept in the Apocrypha. Let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra. All right, let's go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, and let's see where I want to start. Salakia. Right, let's go to 2nd Ezra in the 6th chapter. And these chapters are beautiful, man. Right? 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 22. It reads, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The 4 storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Right? So these 4 storehouses, these Walmarts, if it's an EMP attack, these Sam's Clubs, these Amazon warehouses, people want to find that, and they're going to have to take what they got to take. They're not going to sign up. They're not going to pay. They're not going to go to where you could pay and kind of scan it, put it in the bag yourself, and they're not going to do that. People want to take what they got to take, whether they got an arm full or a cart full, and they're going to make moves. You're going to have brothers, okay, let me help and try to order my Apocrypha. Let me try to order my Bible. It's going to be too late in that day. You're going to wake up that day, now I want to take notes on Deuteronomy 28, right? And you're never going to get it. So you want to get this word while you can, all right? And reading on. 2nd Ezra 6 and 23. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So what are the springs of the fountains? The springs of the fountains represent the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding being shot out of the earth, like a geyser or a wellspring of waters spewing up out of the earth. Those are the living springs of waters. In 3 hours, meaning in a certain dispensation of time, not literally 3 hours, meaning in a certain time, the Lord's going to shut those waters down, right? And you're not going to be able to have the same access to information that you have right now. And this internet is beautiful, man. You don't have to go to a library and look up all these books and get this information. You can find out your nationality with a click of a button, man. Right? So you have even the energy secretary letting you know that get ready for lights out. All right? You can wake up one morning and the lights could be gone. Try to flick it on and flick it off. You unplug it and plug it back in, and they're going to hold your phone up and try to get a signal, and that's going to be it. You know? So these days are coming back on the earth, man. These are signs of the times. Right? Now, you also have, that I want to go into, right, which isn't going to take too long. You also have, Salakia, the ring of fire eclipse coming in. All right, you have something called the ring of fire eclipse. and that'll be so-called Thursday, right? The ring of fire eclipse is going to happen on Thursday, right? Now, what does that mean for us, right? Okay, let's see Slaki real quick. All right, you see that? Here's more pictures. What to expect. The ring of fire eclipse, what it will look like in 2021. They're calling it the Death Star. See that? Even Esau, he's calling it the Death Star. All right? These are bad omens, right? An omen is a sign, right? These are omens. All right? Even Esau saying partial, this from the Washington Post. You can look it up on your own. Partial solar eclipse will bring crescent sunrise to the northeast United States. From so-called space.com, the ring of fire solar eclipse will look like the Death Star in front of the sun, astronomers say, right? Now, a lot of people, when I pull that up, they get excited. A lot of heathen, they're getting ready to buy their sunglasses, their special sunglasses, so the sun doesn't burn their eyes, right? They're getting that telescope out the attic. They're shaking the dust off of it. They're going to Walmart. They're trying to buy the telescope on Amazon. Which one do I get? Right? Is it going to be large enough? They're getting snacks ready. Right? But this is the end of the world. You just had a blood moon about last week. Then you got this going on. The sun into darkness and the moon into blood. You got power grids going out, cyber attacks, rumors of wars, massive disease, massive earthquakes. Everything we're just checking it off. It's like you got a pen in the pad, and you're just checking off the prophecies. Check that off. Okay, we're checking that one off. And we're just slowly going down the list and checking off the prophecies. You know? Let's go to the book of Luke. All right? Let's go to the book of Luke. You got to watch. You got to stay on top of these things, or you're going to be caught out there. And guess what you got to deal with? All right? This is the book of Luke, chapter 21. All right, bear with me. Right, and we bring this out all the time. We brought it out last time we went into this, but we're going to bring it out again. All right, this is the book of St. Luke, chapter 21, and verse, let's see where I want to start, 25. All right, St. Luke, chapter 21 and 25. It reads, and there shall be signs. Now, keep in mind, these are signs at the end of the world. I'm going to jump up and get to the point. Luke 21 and 5. And as some spake of the temple, how it was adorned with goodly stones and gifts, he said, as for these things which ye behold, this is Yahushua speaking, the days will come, and the which there shall not be left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Meaning all these stones and all these precious things you're looking at, the days are coming, it's all going to be shut down. And they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? Meaning, what are we going to look for on the earth to let us know that these buildings are going to be cast down, that the earth is going to be wasted, that the earth is going to be destroyed, that all hell is going to break loose? What can we physically look for so we can try to pinpoint or calculate as best as we can as men and disciples when you're going to return? And that's what this chapter is about. Matthew chapter 24, Luke 21, Mark 13, and the Gospels are chapters directly dedicated to giving man a warning with signs and prophecies on what to look for prior to Yahushua's second coming. And going into the ring fire eclipse, that's within this thing. So I'm going to jump to verse 25 and read that. Luke 21 and 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity the sea and the waves roaring. You see that? So you're going to have these signs in the sun and the moon. It's not a coincidence. Stop blaming stuff on Mother Nature. Well, that happens all the time, because when you do the mathematical collections, and then the astrologers and NASA said, no, the Lord not dealing with NASA. The Lord created the sun. You think this is happening? The Most High don't know that this is going on? You think that a blood moon that just happened and this ring of fire eclipse it's new information to the Lord, and the Lord is trying to figure out Well, what happened to the sun? I didn't make it that way. How is this an eclipse? No, the Lord is calling the shots. This is a sign that judgment and bloodshed and destruction and madness is coming to the earth. Now, it can be the day of this thing. It can be the week after, like the blood moon. There's no telling. Now, if massive destruction kick off, you can't say you wasn't warned. Don't expect the holy angels to come down and send you a text or an email and let you know why hell is about to break loose. The Lord is speaking to you via the earth. Right? Then the Lord said in Matthew chapter 12, right? Let's get this precept. In Matthew chapter 12 and verse, it's like you. See if that's what I want. Right? Maybe bear with me. Get this precept. What the Lord said, you can discern. It's like you. Right? This is the book of Luke chapter 12 and 54. It's like you. Luke 12 and 54. This is what I want. It reads, and he said also to the people, when they see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway they say, there cometh the shower, and so it is. Yeah, anybody can see that. Even a 9-year-old can see a big, dark, gray cloud with lightning all in it, moving fast, and he knows as a 9-year-old that it's about to rain. He'll say, Mommy, Daddy, it's about to rain. And they say, yes, it is, son. Let's go inside. Right? He even knows that. You know? It reads, and when they see the south wind blow, ye say there will be heat, and it coming to pass. And you can discern when the temperature is a damn heat wave. You know that. You go outside and say, damn, it's been hot for 1 week. You kind of check the damn weather, say it's going to be 90 degrees to 95 degrees, and you kind of prepare. You may make sure your AC is working. You may get extra bottles of water. You may even buy a fan or whatever. You prepare. The point is, man can naturally observe what the Heavenly Father is doing on the earth, and they prepare for it, right? Lest they be quenched by the rain, or lest they be burned by the blazing sun. You prepare for carnal things on the earth. Verse, and Yahushua about to get on you, right? Because the man prepares for carnal things, but they don't prepare for the spiritual things. And they're observant and keen to things that are happening on the earth, but they're not observant and keen to what the Most High is doing on a prophetic level. Right? Let me read that again. Matthew 12 and 55. And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say there will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time? Yea, and why even of yourselves judge ye not what is right? See that? See that the Lord said you can discern that and prepare, but how can you not discern the times? How can you not be preparing for Jacob's trouble? And I'm talking about physically, I'm talking about spiritually preparing. How can you not be preparing and seeing all of the signs? Why aren't you fasting? Why aren't you repenting? Why aren't you keeping the commandments? Why aren't you diligent? The same diligence you have to go inside and get a raincoat or get your umbrella, it's the same diligence you should have getting your spirit right about what the Most High is about to do on the earth. You know? And this is prophecy. The Lord said in Luke 21 and 25, right, I'm going to go back to that. All right, Luke chapter 21, and I don't want this to be too long, right? Luke 21 and 25, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, the distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, right? See, Esau talking about don't miss the breathtaking ring of fire. Like it's a damn show, man. Like it's the Super Bowl. The Lord said in Jeremiah chapter 10 and 1, learn not the way of the heathen and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them. See, the heathen, they look at stuff like this and say, don't miss out. Oh, this is about to be mighty. Right? You'll miss a great show from Mother Nature. And we see stuff like this and we kind of, hey, look, we got to get it together. We put our head down. We kind of put our head down and we kind of walk softly and we humble before the Lord because, hey, the Most High could take this place out any second. It's not a game, you know? It says on Thursday, reading from the article, just from SciTech Daily, you can look it up on your own, right? It says on Thursday, June 10th, 2021, people across the northern hemisphere will have the chance to experience an annular or partial eclipse of the sun. A solar eclipse, now they're going to try to break it down, right? They're trying to go in depth in it. It says, I'm not trying to get so-called scientific with it, but basically, this is what you should expect to see, right? See that? Now, the thing about it is, June 10th, this is happening on June 10th, right? Now, June 9th at sundown, which is the June 10th, is also a new moon. So this is happening on the new moon, right? So you got a lot going on, man. You got the new moon happening the same day of the eclipse. Sign that the sun and the moon, that's a just balance. The man, it's like the sun is personified as a he, and the moon is personified as a she. That's the just balance in this thing, right? So you have a lot going on the earth, man. Our job is to watch. Let's go to the book of Matthew. Or let's go to Matthew chapter 24. And these precepts, they become redundant. We're going to keep bringing it out. Matthew chapter 24 and 44. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. See that? So make sure you're paying attention. You praying, you're fasting, you're diligent, you're keeping the commandments, you on fire, you watching, you circumspect, you getting your house in order, because the days of evil are at hand. But with that, I'm going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh Shema Mashiach Amalak Yahushai. Most I willing you are edified. Kwam Yashala. Shalom.